First of all, if he were a January 6th rioter, he would have been with the FBI. Secondly, these two charges are unconnected. And even if they were, why are homosexuals statistically more likely to be pedophiles? They make up maybe 2% of the population, but account for about 33% of these crimes against minors. After all, I am just asking questions. Again, Mr. Jones is under the delusion that Immigration and Customs Enforcement just picks minorities off the streets for deportation. I can barely fathom how they could believe that. The people being deported were those who broke in illegally. Maduro was brought here for trial, but I would not expect someone who still believes in the Russia collusion to know facts. Linking the attack on Pearl Harbor and the Twin Towers to an unauthorized tour group is an insult to everyone who was killed on those days. January 6th was a mostly peaceful protest by the standards of the Democrats, especially after the riots of Black Crimes Matter. Reporters called the riots fiery but mostly peaceful while the fires blazed behind them. There were some bad things that happened that day, but the real fault is on the FBI agitators. The people who unlocked the doors from the inside, and the Capitol Police who gave an unsanctioned tour. Democrats and never-Trumpers have been warning that Donald Trump would institute a police state since 2015. As of the writing of this script, that has not come to fruition. Americans are not being targeted under his administration, in any way even remotely implied by this cartoon. People like Mr. Roll believe that if you say a lie loudly enough, and long enough, that people will believe it. Ironically, that was coined by a certain National Socialist in Europe. There is a major difference between these two situations. In one, the people there were staying there and not trying to come here. When they do, they try to make their new home like their old home. In the other, the people were fleeing their home and coming here, and then hoping that we would not be like them. As such, we actually were treated as liberators in Venezuela. The only ones who do not agree with the Venezuelans are the liberals who protested against having a king. I would like to point out that every advance in technology requires leaps in resource usage. Electric lights, automobiles, planes, and every other advancement follows this pattern. However, what people like Mr. Heller do not want to admit is that we have the technology to make this work. We just cannot rely on insignificant sources of energy like wind and solar. We also need to not redirect water to save a single species of fish. We only need to allocate the resources well. I'm going to give Mr. Jones the benefit of the doubt. I'm just going to conclude that he made this cartoon before the footage from Agent Ross's perspective came out. However, even if that were not the case, we already knew that she was not just an ordinary civilian. She was one of the vigilantes who have to get in ICE's way at every turn. Once more, liberals fear this footage, for the same reason that Black Crimes Matter rioters fear footage. Solidarity is an excellent word. We could stand in solidarity with law enforcement and not get in their way. Action is an excellent word. Actions, like getting out of the vehicle, work great. Love is an excellent word. Love means not defaming an entire career path over Trump derangement syndrome. Truth is an excellent word. Truth is not calling people fascists just because the laws passed by Congress are being enforced. His mother is the one who decided to interfere with a federal investigation, and then tried to hit a federal officer with her car. Countless mothers every day pick their children back up. That is because they do not interfere with a federal investigation, and also do not try to hit federal officers with their cars. What would even possess someone to do that? Maybe a political party that brainwashed her into thinking that laws passed by Congress and previously executed by President Obama were all of a sudden racist. This is fourth stage TDS. At this point, there is no cure. No matter how much good President Trump does for this country, there will be those who hate him just because the media told them to. It is really quite sad. What sort of quack doctor would prescribe an antidepressant to a healthy person? Oh wait! I get it. This is for all the people who are going to psychiatrists about their TDS, like Mr. Ariel from a moment ago. Sadly, the antidepressant will only mask the symptoms of TDS, not the cause. The cause is the weaponization of Operation Mockingbird. This is why some conservatives are calling her Georgina Floyd. She is the newest saint that has been anointed by the lunatic left. This professional activist was trained to interfere with law enforcement, came to Minnesota just to cause trouble, was told and refused to come out of her vehicle, then hit the officer with her car. We will never know why she did all of this, aside from her brainwashing and TDS.